Sabonzy Academy. So in this video, we'll be solving the question 10 of the 2019 Core Maths Nov-Dec theory questions. So moving on to question 10a, says that make x the subject in the relation x minus 1 over m plus y over n is equal to 2. So moving on to the solution for question 10a, we have x minus 1 over m plus y over n is equal to 2. So our first step is to multiply the equation with the multiple of the denominators, which is m and m. So the least common multiple of m and n is mn. So we multiply everything by mn. We have mn multiplying x minus 1 over m plus mn multiplying y over n is equal to 2 times mn. Now m cancels m, will be left with n. So n into brackets x minus 1 plus n cancels and we'll be left with m. So we have m y is equal to 2 mn. So we have nx minus n plus my is equal to 2 mn. Since we are making x the subject, we can take n and my to the right hand side. We have nx to be equal to 2 mn plus n minus my. So to make x stand alone, we divide both sides by the coefficient of x, which is n. So this divided by n, this divided by n. N cancels n, we'll be left with x. So x will be equal to 2 mn plus n minus my all over n. So this will be the relation for x. And this brings us to the end of question 10a. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and don't forget to leave a comment in the comment section as well. So we'll be moving on to the question 10b. Question 10b. Araba purchased X number of apples for 48 Ghana cedi. She found out after a day that 40 of the apples were rotten, and then sold all the remaining apples. If the selling price of one apple was 1 cedi more than the cost price, find in terms of X, I, the selling price of one apple, II, an expression for the total amount she received from the sale of the apple. So moving on to the solution. So 10b, I. We are asked to find the selling price of one apple. So Araba bought 8 number of apples. But then she found out later that 40 of the apples were rotten, and she sold the remaining apples. So the number of apples she sold will be the X, which is the total number of apples she bought minus the number of apples that were rotten. So the number of apples sold will be equal to X minus 40. So we are told that the cost price for all the apples is 48 Ghana cedi. So total cost price is equal to 48 Ghana cedi. So the cost price for one apple, which is CP1, will be equal to the total amount for the apples over the total number of apples she bought. So it will be Ghana cedi 48.00 all over the total number of apples she bought, which is X. Now we are also told that the selling price of one apple is equal to the cost price of one apple plus Ghana cedi 1. So the selling price of one apple will be equal to Ghana cedi 48 over X plus 1. So that brings us to the end of question 10bi. So moving on to 10bii. We are asked to find, in terms of x, an expression for the total amount she received from the sale of the apple. So the selling price of one apple is 48 over x plus 1. So the selling price for all the apples she sold would be Ghana cedi 48 over x plus 1 times the total number of apples she sold. And we know that the total number of apples she sold is x minus 40. So times x minus 40. So this will be the total amount of money she received for selling x minus 40 amounts of apples. This brings us to the end of question 10b. So in our next video, we'll be solving question 11 of the 2019 WASSCE Nov-Dec theory questions.